Please welcome actress, activist, and best-selling author, Gabrielle Union. Beautiful. Hug from afar. Oh, have a seat. Congratulations. Let's give it up. Listen, first of all, I have to do this. You look incredible. I mean, like chocolate on top of chocolate on top of brown, just luxurious.
No, thank you. Thank you.
How do you feel? Everything is just happening in this wonderful way. You just keep winning.
There's some L's in there too, but with each loss, it's a lesson. So each lesson is a blessing, and that's how I've had to learn to live with it.
Yeah.
But I feel alive. Last night we had our first book tour stop in Brooklyn, and Brooklyn came out. I just felt connected, and this is the whole purpose of this book, is to build community, to build these connections, to share resources, to share stories, and to let everyone know that being radically transparent,
Right.
you will lose nothing and gain the world.
That is so true. And you know, we've talked a lot about this. People use that word like authentic, being your authentic self. And when I launched this show, you were talking, I was like, why is that such a catchphrase? Is it really that hard to be your authentic self? And it is. It is so hard because at times you want to please others way too much. And also I think winning is hiding. You know, you don't want to show your vulnerability. You don't want to show your weakness. And you lay it to bear in this book.
I leave no stone unturned. You know, when people started throwing out the word, that's brave, Gab. And I was like,
Yeah.
Ooh, I think I said too much. But I don't think I even said enough.
Really?
So I'm like, why is honesty brave?
Why is that? Why is honesty brave?
I think people believe that when you show your truth, whatever that is, especially if you have, you know, some ugly parts to your truth, you're giving the opposition ammunition to take you out. But that's not it. Being open and honest and vulnerable creates opportunity to build community with other people.
Right.
So like if I ask you, Tamron, girl, how are you? And you're like, fine, but your world is actually crumbling around you, what you did is just close the door on building community.
Yeah,
but
and help, because you could have helped me.
Isolation.
Yeah, you're breathing, and people don't realize. You say, I'm fine, whereas if you said, as was the case so Gabrielle Union, this is the first time in the studio live, but she was in my pilot. And when I called you personally to ask for a favor to be on the pilot, I was secretly pregnant, and she was expecting her first baby, Cobb. And at that moment, I said, I've got something to tell you. And I told her, and she said, well, I got something to tell you too. And it was like a weight had lifted, but that's what you're talking about. I could have pretended that, you know, I'm not gonna, but I needed to talk to somebody. And it was your book that helped me, the first version of this. But I think that's incredible that you're telling us now there are things from the first book that you were not prepared to talk about. Race being one of them. Why?
Not with the depth.
Why weren't you ready?
I was afraid.
Of what?
Losing it all. You
Because
tell the truth in Hollywood? It's some choppy waters, you know? But the reality is it takes one person and then it's like, okay. 2 people, 3 people, we all come forward. Me Too, time's up. You know, Judgment Day, you know, last year I've been calling it Judgment Day. And no one suddenly evaporated. We could talk about the massive elephant in the room that we always tap dance around. We always fall back on, when you mean, let's talk about race, it's,
right.
Well, diversity and inclusion. We're not talking about diversity and inclusion. We're talking about anti-Blackness and we're talking about racism. Let's call it what it is.
You, in the book, talk about one of your most famous characters from Bring It On. You've recreated it in the uniform. We've seen you as the character Isis. And you say the way you portrayed her was a disservice to her and you, because that character in confrontation took the high road because there was a fear of her being angry and black, the angry black woman.
Yes.
And you apologized to this character.
I I was given full autonomy over this character. I could do whatever I wanted. That has never happened again, and you know, it's a rare thing in Hollywood. And what I chose to do when I was given complete freedom was to put a muzzle on her, to strip her of her humanity and her right to be angry at the harm caused. She had to be the most gracious victim ever. You know, these girls had been working so hard, and these other group of girls steal all of their things and take it to nationals, and they win all these championships, and it brings, you know, money and resources and attention to their school when it should have been with the rightful owners. Cultural appropriation. And instead of calling a thing, it was by the end of the movie when Kirsten Dunst's character says, you know, you guys were just better. And instead of just being like, yeah, instead of, you know, yes, we were. And when the playing field was truly equal and you had to do your own work, it wasn't good enough. Take that L and sit with it.
That's the line.